Order of Mississinewa Community School Corporation, regular meeting of Board of Trustees. Reverend Atkinson, this is prayer and pledge.
Well, Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to meet with these fine individuals. I pray that you give them great wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
Are your sermons that short?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
gonna have to try one. I'm gonna have to try one of those.
They're always first to lunch.
You just gotta better turn your cell phone on, right?
You always beat the Baptist to lunch, don't you?
now 35 to 45 minutes. We're doing better.
Item 36, minutes of the last executive session and meeting. Mr. Kelly.
Yes, Mr. President,
Mr. Kelly, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes, including the executive session certification as presented, sir.
Okay. Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Kraus, okay. There's a motion, promptly second. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same, so motion carries. Item 137, property and casualty insurance effective July 1st, 2020.
Yes, that's probably a Mrs. Townsend issue, but I would just say that we would recommend approval of the property and casualty insurance as
Yeah.
presented. And if you got questions, I'll refer those to Mrs. Townsend, who I see her face up on the screen, so I know she's with us. So.
Still in power. Has anybody got any questions or comments? Or not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Miller,
I'll make a motion to approve the property and casualty insurance as presented.
okay. Second, anyone?
I'll second.
Mr. Herrera? Okay. Again, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 138, Mississinewa reopening school plan due to COVID-19. Mr. McKee.
Yes, we have provided this reopening plan to the board for a few weeks now for your review. Things have changed since you received it, but and we've made a couple little tweaks here and there and provided those to you. It's, even if you approve it tonight, as I've indicated to you before, that this document will change as circumstances change. So as we've told all staff members, we all have to have a frame of mind that we're adaptive and flexible to the changing situation, and sometimes it seems and feels very overwhelming. But we like this plan. We've gotten a lot of input from a lot of employee groups about this plan, and we've looked closely at CDC guidelines, OSHA guidelines, state guidelines for reopening school, and a lot of the agencies that represent us, Superintendent's Association, the School Board Association. I know the teachers have looked at Indiana Teachers Association in providing us input. We've looked at other school plans that are posted on the DOE website, and so this is kind of this isn't any one person's plan. This is a collective plan of some of the best thoughts and wisdom in central Indiana and around our state. And so we think it's a good plan for now and fits our situation as we currently sit at 6:36 p.m. on July 20th. And we would recommend approval as presented and would take any questions or comments that you might have.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. President,
Same here.
I make a motion to approve the reopening school plan as presented, sir.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. We got a motion made and properly second. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I'm going to explain my nay vote on this. I believe it's too soon to start school. I think we'd be wiser to wait a week or two. I'm not talking about a semester. And the plan, I think, is good, but the starting date I can't buy, so I will vote nay.
Okay, motion on the floor, comments and questions have been taken care of. The motion is made that we approve it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries, 1 nay. 139, personnel, Mr. McKay.
Yeah, it's that time of year, so I may run out of breath before I get through all these names, but it's a long list under personnel. And we have the following items for your consideration this evening. Madeline McDonough Fleece has requested a leave of absence beginning August 5th, and she will be returning at the start of the second semester. Courtney, she is a middle school teacher. Courtney Colvin has requested a leave of absence. She's an elementary teacher at Westview, beginning approximately October 10th, and she plans to return at the start of the second semester. Amy Ott is a part-time school nurse at Northview, and she is resigning effective immediately. Faith Wiggin is a paraprofessional at the high school, and she is resigning effective immediately. Kirsten Levitt is an English teacher at R.J. Baskett Middle School, and she is resigning effective immediately. Nancy Campbell worked at Northview for 1 day a week this past school year, and she is resigning effective immediately. Brandon Swanner has resigned as the junior varsity girls basketball coach, effective immediately. Ann Click, a paraprofessional at the high school for this coming year, intends to resign effective at the end of this coming school year. Daryl Davis has been a paraprofessional at R.J. Baskett Middle School, and he is retiring effective immediately. Marianne Case was a Northview paraprofessional this past school year. She is resigning effective immediately. Mickey Lynn Kane was a Northview school teacher, special ed school teacher this past year, was reassigned to the high school for this coming year, but she is resigning effective immediately. Morgan Babb has been a longtime secretary at the high school, and she is resigning effective August 3rd. We also have the following new hires to present this evening. Josh Greentree to be hired as an assistant football coach effective immediately. Josh Stearns to be hired as an assistant football coach effective immediately. Tyler Boss to be hired as assistant football coach effective immediately. Larry Bryant to be hired as assistant football coach effective immediately. Willie Barnes to be hired as an assistant football coach effective immediately. Brandon Rock to be hired as an assistant football coach effective immediately. Caleb Crandall to be hired as a volunteer football coach effective immediately. Michael Mobley to be hired as a volunteer football coach effective immediately. Brian Trout to be hired as an assistant varsity boys basketball coach for this coming season effective immediately. Dustin Jones to be hired as the head boys and girls cross country coach effective immediately. Jordan McCready to be hired as the assistant boys and girls soccer coach effective immediately. Jonathan Hart to be hired as a volunteer girls soccer coach effective immediately. Heather Chalvier, and I don't know if I pronounced it right, but that's close. Heather to be hired as a multi-categorical special education teacher at Northview effective immediately. Miriam McVicker to be hired as a paraprofessional at Westview Elementary effective immediately. Hannah Kirby was Hannah Guy to be hired as an English teacher at Mississinewa High School effective immediately. It is also our recommendation that we recall the 3 teachers who were RIF'd late last spring, all at the elementary level, Jennifer Hood, Mackenzie South, and Cassie Keeterman, to be hired as elementary teachers on a temporary contract at Northview Elementary effective immediately. So we would recommend approval of all these personnel items as presented this evening.
Okay, what's the vote? Board's pleasure.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve personnel as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion, properly seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 140, facilities.
Yeah, Mr. Gosser's here. Is there anything on facilities, Mr. Gosser, that you want to mention?
Yes, they finished up at Westview with the office area and the heating and air conditioning. That's done. The asphalt work is done at the high school. The people that's going to be sealing asphalt throughout the buildings, they just came in today, so they're going to start preparing the designated areas that I have picked out for each year. They're going to start that tomorrow and start sealing some parking lots and milling some bad spots, and then they will seal. And then the guy will be there to stripe the parking lot after they're done. So other than that, the buildings inside, I believe they're in good shape. We are just now putting some tape down in the hallways for distancing for the students. So, but other than that, we're in pretty good shape.
Ted, we have middle school, what are they doing in the upper, the Circle Drive, that's all, what's that? In the Circle Drive up there, what's that?
At RG Baxter.
Oh, yes, yeah, that is done. He's just gotta come back and backfill the curb, and then there'll be some little work.
What was the work that they did there? What is
The
it?
curb and the landscaping.
And yeah, the curb at the middle school.
Okay.
So he's gotta finish that up, so.
Anybody have any questions? Don't
Pretty
respond.
close to being ready to go.
Oh, yeah,
That's good.
Right now, what the thing is we've got a lot of signs that we've ordered that's been recommended by CDC to post throughout the school. We're waiting to get those. We've gotten some of them and got them up.
We just got those today.
Okay, I didn't know that, but we all learned that together.
Good.
But we'll get those up before the start of school. We've got no-touch water coolers for all 4 buildings. 3 of them at the high school, 3 of them at the middle school, 1 for each level at the middle school, and 1 of the high schools will go out the big white building, and 2 at each of the elementary buildings. And that hasn't come in yet, has it?
No.
So, how about your wands? I call them the Ghostbuster backpacks for spraying the disinfectant.
I bought these 2, and I purchased those back in, it's been late April, but they're electrostatic disinfectant guns that I have a person that every morning is going to get on the bus when they're back at the lot, spray that whole bus down inside. Then when they get back in the evening, at 4:15, they'll spray it again. They make a backpack that holds a lot more product, about 3 gallons, I believe it is. And it's the same purpose. It's a wand. So I'll have, at each building will be a backpack. So somebody's gonna be spraying the classrooms down, spraying the hallways down, lockers, restrooms.
Walls.
Anything, walls in the hallway, anything, cafeteria tables, they can hit those in the evening. So everything the kids are touching, they're spraying. So,
Is it that micro chemical, Ted? Is that what it is? We have it at work, but it's in a spray bottle or whatever. Then it just dries on its own, but then
yeah, it's gotta
disinfects.
dry, the disinfectant, the germicidal's gotta dry for 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
You
that's
just can't
similar.
Spray and wipe it off. It's gotta sit there and kill
Yeah.
the germs. So it will sit for 8 to 10 minutes. Well, they just will wipe it off.
Okay.
You know, if there's areas that are really dirty, of course, they'll clean first, then spray. So,
Good.
Anybody got any questions for Ted?
I just want to say, while Ted's got the floor, so to speak, how much I appreciate his work in representing the school district and working with Police Chief Eckstein and his family in making the high school facility accessible for
Beautiful.
the recent funeral for our police chief. I thought he worked with them and did a great job, him and his team, in getting that building and facility ready and making it as safe as possible under the circumstances for the community. So, thank you, Ted.
just like we broke it down this morning in the gym and the cafeteria, we sprayed everything down first, then let it dry, then we put it up.
You guys are already putting chairs out too, weren't you not? Started that?
I'm sorry.
You're not putting chairs out at the field? I thought I saw.
Yeah, those chairs we sprayed and let set, they went on out to the football field.
That's how far ahead he is, I guess he's already playing. Anybody else got any questions for Ted? Okay, move on to legislative update. Chris, you,
No legislative update, sir.
yeah, we're not losing any money, we're not even making any.
Just, like we said before, they guaranteed funding for next year, so that's,
Yep.
Yeah.
142, corporate sponsors, donations, and grants.
Yes, we have the following corporate sponsors to present for the board's consideration this evening, from Kylie Harker and Certain to high school athletics in the amount of $500, from Edward Jones to high school athletics in the amount of $1,000. 3 donations for your consideration, from Bob and Kathy Bothwell to the boys and girls tennis teams in the amount of $300, from Lori Mumal to the tennis team in the memory of Christine Kern in the amount of $20, and from Brian and Teresa Chapman to the tennis team in memory of Christine Kern in the amount of $50. And we recommend approval of these sponsors and donations as presented this evening.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. President,
Ms. Freitas.
I move we gratefully accept these generous donations.
Okay. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion properly seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 143, claims. Ms. Townsend.
Yes, I have claims totaling $3,063,945.48 for your approval, please.
That's what happens when you take 5 weeks off.
Did you get a boat?
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Those backpack sprayers.
You can get a lot of boats for that.
Yeah. Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. President,
Chris?
I make a motion to approve the claims as presented, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mike? Okay, I got a motion approved by Chris Cunningham and second by Mike Kraus. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence and other business.
Yes, we have 2 voting items this evening, if the board's so inclined, under correspondence and other business. The first is, we would ask the board to allow us to amend the classified personnel schedule to allow employees to request up to 1 year of a leave of absence. Now, I'll press the point with you that this is a request, and it's a request for any time there's a leave of absence, whether it's teachers or any other employee group, that request has to be approved by a majority of the board, and it needs to be recommended by the central office administration. So that's kind of in line with the teacher wording for their contract when it comes to leave of absence. So we would recommend the board make that change at this time.
I'll need a motion for that. Everybody understand what he's asking?
Yeah, Mr. President,
Chris?
I make a motion to approve the recommendation to allow and amend the classified schedule to 1 year for a leave of absence as presented.
Okay. Need a second?
I'll second.
Susan? Okay, got a motion made and prompted by Chris Cunningham, is promptly seconded by Susan Miller. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Okay, motion carried.
The other item is a calendar change for this coming school year in 2020-21. Currently, on opening day for students, for the very first time, we put a 2-hour delay at the start of the very first day in order to give teachers and administrators a little more time to meet in subject area groups or grade level groups and do some planning that they lose out on all the meetings on opening day for staff. So with COVID-19 and the change in schedule that we're making at the secondary level in particular, we're concerned about a 2-hour delay on an opening day that would lead us right into lunch, starting when the students arrive. There's certain protocols and procedures that we're wanting to install this year with the schools. And the kids need a couple of days to be instructed on that and get in a routine. So we would recommend that we move that 2-hour delay from Wednesday, the 5th of August, to Friday, the 7th of August. So we would recommend approval of that change. That has been discussed with the Mississinewa Teachers Association, and they support that change, so.
Okay. What's the president's pleasure?
I move we amend the calendar as presented.
Okay. Need a second?
Second.
Got a motion by Mrs. Freitas and second by Mr. Crouch. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So we will, beginning tomorrow, get that message out to our community and our staff and our students. The 3 other things I have written down under that is our next school board meeting is August 3rd, 2 weeks from tonight, to be held right in this room at 6:30. And at this time, I'm not aware of a need for an executive session, but that could change in a week or so.
There- No longer are we, this is the last meeting we can do virtual too, is that not correct? Is that what
It is.
that-
This is, it's already passed. July 3rd was the last time you could have a virtual meeting where a board member could vote
Okay.
virtual. So you can't vote virtually anymore. You can attend the meeting virtually, but you can't vote. You can speak during the meeting, but you can't vote.
What's the rationale behind that?
About,
About.
not allowing
Yeah, the
virtual?
vote.
Freitas will have a gun to your head, make you vote.
Well,
You know, I would only be speculating.
okay.
If I think in the 21st century, I think it's something that government needs to think about, that to make that available to people who serve on boards.
Now, because
feel.
if you're planning vacations or time away, you always have to,
Right.
try to work around
Try
those
to work
dates.
around
It
that
would be
board
nice if you
schedule.
could do
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
I think it's probably just public access more than anything else. I think there's no place where.
Yeah, people take off for 6 months and sit on the board and
Yeah.
just attend the meetings virtually, and that's, would be my guess.
That
That's
may
a-
be it.
That's a
Okay.
good. Okay, the other thing I have is the 71st Annual State Indiana School Board Association and Superintendent Association Fall Conference is September 28th on Monday and Tuesday, September 29th. I believe that you can attend either virtually or in person at this point. So if you're intending to go to that conference, you need to
Is that in Indianapolis again?
Yes. You need to let our office know, start with Pam. She does all the scheduling for that.
Well, that answers a lot of questions. I don't know about if they're gonna have it. I would figure they would.
Right now, they are, as far as we know, but that could change. But they are allowing a virtual attendance if you elect to do that.
So to have a question on that, if we wanted to attend that virtually but do it here together, could we do that? That would just be a thought for us. I mean, if they do allow it and they were to close, we could still do it here collectively, like in the boardroom, yeah, and have lunch and
Sure.
still learn together, but not be
Sure.
bound by having to go there.
Absolutely.
Actually, unless the COVID, hopefully it'll decline, I will go or stay, But
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah,
to attend.
Yeah, I'm just saying if they ended up, my guess is they put that option in case there's a health issue. If you want to go ahead and put it on your calendars for attending, we could do it here.
Yeah.
Or if we go, we could go.
I just ask you call Pam or email Pam
Okay.
to get you registered and make arrangements.
Okay.
And let her know whether you intend to attend in person or virtual. The last thing I have is, I was going to mention what you already brought up, and I said it, that you can no longer attend virtually a board meeting and have the right to vote in a meeting. So that's all I have at this point. Leslie, Mrs. Winter, you have anything?
No, I'm just very thankful for the board and for the administrators and doing everything they possibly can to get ready for the start of school, and Mr. Gosser and Mr. Fleming and both of your teams have worked overtime this summer, making sure that we're providing the best possible safe environment for our teachers and our students to come to school. And we really appreciate everyone's extra work and the stress that everybody's under, and just working together to do the very best we can and for a good start this school year.
Any other comments by administrators? Anything you want to add? Speak now, forever hold your peace for 2 weeks. All right, board, I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, anybody from the board, anyone want to say?
I just want to thank you guys for all the hard work that
Yes.
you've done. I mean, I've seen all the paperwork you've sent out. I know that's a ton of work, and normally it's a summer sort of a time for you guys to decompress before you start another hard school year, and you guys haven't got that. I'm sorry you haven't, but I appreciate all your hard work. I wish the community could see all the hard work that you guys put in, because I know it was difficult. So thank you.
I appreciate
Here, here.
that, and I know everybody else that's on the administrative team appreciates that. I mean, we approach our job, you know, you got a job to do, and you're not done till it's done, and
Handing
this
out
is-
sack lunches surely didn't show up as a principal.
Yeah.
A 90-degree weather, that couldn't have been something.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so, everybody, that's, you know, they have done things that I know wasn't in their job assignment, and they've seen what I've been around them with fun, made it fun to do. The other thing I'd like to say, you know, Tim Eckstein was my daughter's father-in-law, and I was very proud of the way the school and the community got together and worked out the things, and it went as smooth as it possibly could have. It went, and like I said, Mr. Gosser's worked there, the pastor was there, and they had it in the cafeteria, moved it to the, and it was, the gym wasn't full, but the downstairs was pretty full, the bleachers and stuff, and then the outpouring from the community, and small town like this, and some of the things that's going on with policemen and things like that, there was people lining the streets from one end to the other, and, you know, they didn't have to be, and it was almost
hot.
2 weeks, almost two weeks to do that, you know, and still, there were people from Hartford City and Muncie, and I don't know, from all over the place. So, and I know it wasn't easy for you to get all that together and to get it done, but, big thank you from the family, and I really appreciate, I'm really proud to be part of the Indian Nation that put that together, so. Anybody else? Well, if not, I have 1:45, adjournment.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Herrera, I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor by Conrad Herrera, and a second by Mike Crouch. Are there any questions or comments? Say that, we just come here for.
I just came to count,
Okay.
but I would second all the stuff that has been
I'll
said.
tell you what, when we get done here, we'll let you say a minute, okay? Okay, I didn't want, if you had something to say, I didn't want to cut you out. Motion made by Conrad, second by Mike Crouch, that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?